Hello, YouTube. It's Carrie here. I tried to do a live stream. It kind of like fritzed out on me in the middle, so here I am to do a video for you guys. Um, I would like to talk about fiber and probiotics today. Something that is skipped over very, very, very much when it comes to weight loss surgery. A lot of people don't really talk about this much after surgery. It's not really part of the surgeon's rules on like what you're supposed to do after surgery, but it is so vitally important. And I'm going to tell you why. If you're wondering actually what's going on, over here, all these interesting jars of stuffs here. This is like some probiotic stuff that I'm making myself. That is kombucha. um, so, why is fiber and probiotics so important after weight loss surgery? We know that when we have weight loss surgery, things kind of go crazy and our function is changed in our gut. Our microbes are also changed. And typically, when you eat the North American diet, the profile of microbes that you get in your gut are not terribly great. Um, and there's a lot of people realizing now that going back to eating traditional probiotics is actually really, really important for us. If you think about it, before we had refrigeration, almost everything we ate was fermented. That's how we preserved everything before refrigeration. Was we fermented all of our vegetables and we would have them on the counter and eat pickles and eat sauerkraut and all that kind of stuff. And pretty much every culture has fermented stuff. And so to constantly be inoculating ourselves with good, happy bacteria is actually really, really important. The fiber is important because the fiber feeds the bacteria. The plant matter in our diets is super, super important. And actually, recently, if you guys know me and have been following me, you know that I'm very, very big proponent of talking about protein and produce at every meal. That's how I keep focused on what to eat properly and healthy for my body and for my maintenance. Um, I have switched that around recently to produce and protein. That little shift. So the bulk of what I want to be eating is actually the veggies because the veggies do contain protein. Not as much as something like egg or like a piece of meat or fish or something like that. But those veggies do contain protein and that adds up. So the protein and the fiber is super important to me. In the vegetable matter that I eat, that fiber content, it's mitigating the absorption rate. It's also feeding my microbes. With happy fed microbes in a healthy gut community, what happens is that the food that you eat, you're getting more mileage out of. Without the good, happy microbes in your gut, you will not be absorbing from your food. So, I want to talk a little bit about our gut and the microbiome and how it sort of, you can compare it a little bit to plants and plant roots. Um, People who are gardeners, they know about something called mycorrhizae in the soil, and these are like the fungi and beneficial bacteria in the soil that help the plant roots absorb nutrients from the soil. Our gut is the same way. Although we can absorb certain things without having those microbes there, the microbes help us absorb all of the micronutrients, help us get the most out of the food that we're eating. They also produce things that lend to the functioning of our immune system. They produce something called butyrate, which helps maintain a healthy gut and helps actually get rid of precancerous cells in the colon. But butyrate also has much further reaching effects on the entire body, including your mental health. So like all of these things, the probiotics and that fiber content in the diet is vital because you could be eating a ton of protein and not absorbing anything. You could also be having issues with micronutrient absorption. All of these things are improved with the adding of a probiotic. And although you can take the pills and stuff like that, it's actually better for you. Our body is our body evolved eating these fermented foods that we created, that we took with us, that we like. We love fermented foods. I mean, like wine, chocolate, coffee, beer, like cheese. All of these things are so good. The nutritional components of them are improved through fermentation. The accessibility to the nutrients of what our body can properly absorb is improved. All of these things help us. So making sure that you add something like kraut or a kimchi, have a few different types of probiotics in your diet because they all have different beneficial profiles of bacteria, right? So something like kombucha is nice. And like you can make your own. It's a little bit more complicated to get into all that. As you can see, it looks a little bit crazy. But these things are becoming more widely available at the store. Watch the sugar on commercially made kombucha. They are very different between different brands. Look at the serving size and look at the sugars, because you can add sugar to it, but like the beneficial bacteria in the drink actually ferment the sugar. So you can have, depending on how far they take the fermentation, there can be less sugar at the end. And some companies also like to add sugar to counteract the tartness from the fermentation. So watch the sugar in that. If you make it yourself, you can take the fermentation a little bit further, and so you know like how much sugar is in there. I'm particularly sensitive to it, so I always have to watch how much sugar is in anything. And also remember, sugar in your diet is also adding to your fat cells. Anytime you have carbohydrate, the fat is needed in the diet. That is an essential nutrient. We need that. Every nerve cell in your body is lined with fat. Your brain is made of fat. Hormones. You need fatty acids in your body. It's absolutely important. If you have fat in your body to burn, you don't need the carbohydrates. People say, oh, it's very important to have carbohydrates in the diet. You are going to be getting some carbohydrates when you have that fiber. Resistant starches and fiber is a good type of carbohydrate. The simple sugars and easier carbohydrates to digest, that along with the fat, that's going to put it in your cells. So mitigate the sugar and carbohydrate in your diet. Focus on fiber, good, healthy, yummy veggies, and protein. The protein that you need. Not only protein, because the fiber is super important too. Having that blend, it's like we have to stop looking at things as black or white. There is a middle ground. There is balance. Balance is one of the most important things to learn in life. One of the most important things to learn in maintenance. For me, at least, that was the key, was finding balance. That's it for me. I don't want to make this too long. Remember, guys, produce and protein. Get that fiber in. Get those probiotics in. Get yourself some kimchi, some kraut, some good natural yogurt. Not like the Activia stuff. You want to stay away from stuff that's too commercially made because those probiotics don't necessarily replicate naturally in your gut. The ones in Activia don't. You have to keep eating the yogurt to get the benefit, but you want something that they will colonize in your tummy. So, not in your tummy, in your intestines, so that it'll help you absorb your food. So, that's it. Have a great day. Bye.